Back in 2014, Bandai had an absolutely awesome idea. A new line of master grade sized mobile suits that are a little cheaper to produce, so they could make more master grade sized Gundams. Spoiler, that didn't work out and that line is all but dead now. This line was known as Reborn 100 and it was really ushering in a brand new era of pretty cool 1/100 kits. Now I will just mention, back in 2014, master grades were an all-time high. Before 2014, I was able to make top 10 master grade of the year list. Just think about that. 10 or more master grades that were really damn good in a year. Spoiler the second, master grade is all but dead now. So when this was announced, who would have known 10 years in the future 1/100 would be pretty much dead? Dead and buried. Except when we do get a kit, it's absolutely fantastic, but still. But yeah, what I'm going to be taking a look at today is the Reborn 100 Nightingale, the first ever Reborn 100 kit. This is what Reborn 100 was meant to be all about. Big, massive mobile suits that could not be made as a cost-effective master grade, but would fit in with master grades. And that's pretty much what the Nightingale is. The Nightingale is an absolutely massive mobile suit. In case you don't know what it is, this is the novel version of Sazabi. So in Tomino's actual novel of Char's counterattack, this is what Char drives. This one right here. Not the Sazabi, which is objectively a more fan-favorite kind of look. But yeah, I'm a sucker for the Nightingale. I love it. It's big, it's huge, it's over the top, it's lobster-esque. But yeah, that is enough about what it is. Let's check out what is inside of the box. Alright, so as usual when it comes to an unboxing video, the whole point here is to get some questions in before the actual review. So if there's anything you want to know about this right here, which is the first ever Reborn 100, drop them down there in the comments, just so I know what you want to see. So I suppose this is a video from 10 years in the future from when this kit was released, and I don't think we ever got anything quite as big as the Nightingale again. I guess the next biggest thing down from this would have been the Hama, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, first bag. So the first runner we've pulled out of here is the P runner. And one thing I always remember from these particular kits is you get a lot of big parts. They're like giant high grade, so they don't take too long to build, and they all have the same system of polycaps, which is their Achilles heel because they're not that strong. Thankfully, as far as I know, the Nightingale won't be moving around too much, so that shouldn't be an issue, I hope. So the next piece that we have in here is this giant piece which does make up the butt section of the Nightingale. This doesn't have a section printed inside of it, like saying what runner it is, like we would have seen on the very recently released Psycho Gundam. So this is just, I guess, just a big piece. Just grabbing this right here, which is the high grade. So there it is for comparison. Oh, it's not even the same shape. This might be a completely kind of different version. The next two runners we have in here are duplicates, so that's this right here, Runner L. So that's giving you a little bit of an idea how big its feet is. Well, there's a bit of a high-grade Gunpla for comparison, so about the size of a high-grade Granddaddy. Overall, some big parts yet again, and looking like this is going to be a fairly quick build. In the next bag, we have the business part of the shield being the main body. This actually has that little piece printed on it, so this is Runner F. And again, this is made in 2014, and so far, simple, but I guess what more do you need? In the same bag is the next part of the shield, so I assume this just attaches right onto what we just saw. Again, this does kind of look like cheap plastic compared to what you'd see from a master grade. I guess that's the point. There's some folding through it, there's not a lot of detail. And overall, even these parts right here, they're not really color separated in any kind of way. So on to the next bag, and this is one of those ones that, you know, it kind of is sealed in a completely different way. You can't really tear it open very cleanly. I've always wondered why Bandai uses two completely separate kind of bags. Anyway, these are, once again, duplicates. These are those big shoulder thruster housing sections of armor. It's huge, as you can see right there. And we've got lots of little pieces making up, I guess, part of the verniers, the non-yellow sections. Next up then is Runner B, and we've got two of these. So these are all the yellow sections of all of the verniers. So at least the verniers are color separated themselves. And we do have these parts here which color separate. I'm going to assume some of the little thruster sections may be on the skirting armor. Not sure yet. Next up in here, we've got the decal sheet. For the most part, these are those little sticker kind of caution marks and various little decals. You've got some large Neo-Zeon kind of parts. We've got that Sazabi symbol right there, or the, I guess in this case, Nightingale symbol. And we've got a bunch of other ones, including these red ones, which I assume go around the fuel tanks. Next up, we've got Runner S. We've got 2 of these. Just seem to be some mechanical aspects like the attachment of some verniers. These look like some more verniers, and some of the parts of maybe the feet and the upper arms or legs. The next couple of bags in here is just a bunch of grey runners, nothing really worth pointing out per se, duplicates of most of them, and just more verniers, more bits, more inner frame-ish kind of parts in that usual Gundam frame grey. Some more giant red parts. We've got some skirting armor, some sides of the legs. As far as I remember, there is some sub-arms inside of the front skirts on the Nightingale, so I'm not sure how detailed it'll be on this kit. Can't wait to find out though. Some more of the larger inner kind of frame-ish parts. For example, there's the waist unit, which looks normal. We've got one half, another half, and then this bit that sits on top. Not sure what this old big bit is yet. Probably underneath that big butt flap. Is that part of a sub-arm? This looks like a big old landing gear, so there's definitely some fun stuff going on. And speaking of fun stuff going on, there is the rifle. It is sadly just a big half and half high grade kind of thing. But again, that was meant to be the whole purpose of Reborn 100. There's a high grade Gundam once again for scale, so it's quite the giant rifle. See if I can reach over here and grab a master grade, just so you can see how big it is compared to a Gundam of the exact same scale. So that's a big ass rifle. Next up, some more red armor parts. I think that right there might be part of the head, or is it a kneecap? Sometimes hard to tell with Xeon-ish suits. And we do have some aspects, including these little antennae up there. We've got a new color now added to the mix. This is a nice light gray, which does, well, it's getting kind of affected by the blue light in here. But yeah, these are the cylinders, the fuel tanks around back, and these are those kind of wrapped joints the Nightingale has. I'm not sure why it does, I guess to keep the debris out. I don't know why that, well, mobile suit particularly needs that, but it has them. Continuing on through a couple of bags, and it's just some basic... Continuing on through a couple of bags, and it's just more red armor. In general, we've got some mirrored parts, some non-mirrored parts. Detail is incredibly basic, and it does look like the assembly is simple too. This set of armor sections is a little bit different because we do have some singular aspects. These are the back of the hands. We've got some parts that look like they're going to be from the chest. This has such a magnificent shape to it. I assume the Sazabi looks this way through it, but I'm not really sure. Again, simple construction. In the next bag right here, we've got another fuel tank. This looks like the missile sections of the shield, and we have these right here, which looks like some vent or vernier sections. Also in here are these. These are from 2008, so that's 6 years predating this kit. So I see them, well, next up then we've got these. These are the beam effects for using with the Hawk as well. Well, the B-Max thing as well does have a beam saber in it. And these are from 2008, it seems, so they're ripped, I assume, straight from the Master Grade Sazabi. Or would this be the Sinanju? Last up in here, these are the main offenders. Now this is why, for me, Reborn 100 always seem to fail on me. These are the type of joints these kits have. As you can see, they're all the same, probably cheaper to produce because it is the same little joint again and again and again, except for these ones here. These aren't the strongest. They even feel almost wet to the touch, if you get what I mean. They're not the most grippiest of grippiest, so we'll see how they do work out in a behemoth like this. Oh, and the last bag in here is something a little bit interesting. And the last bag in here is something a little bit interesting. First off, we do have some stickers. These are just for, I'm going to assume, the mono eye as well as the rifle. We do have some clear parts as well. This one's a little unusual right here. Might be for some kind of light piping. This one may be for the mono eye itself. And then we've got a lens kind of cover thing for the entire head. But one thing I was truly never expecting to see inside of this box is this. Now, these are the tiny perfect grade style hands we would have seen on the Master Grade. New Verka, a whole bunch of things. The Jesta, they're kind of like, almost like the way a real grade is made. They're kind of that kind of hard to clean up plastic. They're pre-molded with all the joints on the runner, which is, again, an engineering feat in itself. But that can be a little bit of a pain in the hole. I guess we'll see what they're like everything else, once it's put together. Lastly then, here we have the manual. So this is from 2014, which means it does predate translations. So you'll always find the kind of translation or the gist of these on the Gunpla wiki if you want to know a little bit more about your model kit. There is pretty much everything you're going to be seeing. Some great verniers on this kit, definitely. Going back page first, and actually it's kind of funny that the Gunpla actually goes the Western style, not the Japanese style. I've never noticed that. In all these years doing this stuff, I've never noticed that. But yeah, there is your decal placement. There is the list of everything that comes inside of the box. And then the build says, well, this is the way Reborn 100s are. Actually, you kind of see this in some of the Seed 100. So it says to do the underbody, the upper body, and then the weapons, and then you go through all of that. It's quite the big manual, so there is a lot to it, and some parts seem involved enough, really, so it'll be interesting to see how this does build up. But anyway, yeah, that is it for the unboxing. Let me know what you want to see in the review of this kit. Do you want to see it compared with anything? Do you want to see anything in particular that you've always wanted to know? If you do, let me know down there in the comments and I'll get to it in the review. And until then, I will see you next time. I can't end this video right here without the usual thanks, saying thank you so much for watching. This video and this channel would not be possible without each and every single one of you, including those of you who support me over on the channel memberships and on Patreon, including Abraxas, Caleb Engelhart, Go Little Rockstar, Joe, or G59061, Shadow Wolf 179, 10 Soldier YT, and Van Fawn.